What's going on, everybody? It's your host, Crypto Wonder. Hope you're doing well. And let's get right into it. So, this week, I tell you, it's never a dull moment in cryptocurrency. It's never a dull moment. But I say this: none of y'all have the answer to anything going on in this space. None of you have the answer. So when I see people continuously trying to find the answer, folks are doing the same thing over and over and over again, looking for a different result. What do you call that? Every single day, people are doing the same thing. When this? Why that? Where? How long? Why is this happening? This and that, that and this. No one has the answer. And I mean that. I'm not just saying you as in like, when I say you don't have the answers, and I hope for all things that is good in this world, for all things that are good in this world, I hope you don't think that I'm just singling you out as a listener. I'm talking about the entire, this general. All the talking heads in this community don't have a clue as to what's about to happen, when it's going to happen, how it's going to happen, why it's going to happen. They don't know. Only one person had the mind to create Hex, but you want to listen to 1,000 talking heads, including me. But the difference between what I'm saying and what I'm hearing is the fact that for the most part, and I'm going to say this, my narrative in a sense where you have to make decisions that are good for you. You have to make the decision based on the collected information that you've gathered on your own time, doing your own research, and doing something that's best for you. Minimizing risk, calculated risk is a thing that I've been saying for years before I even got into Hex. Been saying this for years. You guys and gals who want to see nothing but the arrows and the charts go up, the line just go up, everything up. Even planes have to come down at some point when they go up in the sky. Rockets, anything that goes up has to come down. This is life we're talking about. What goes up must come down. Like what fantasy do you remain enthralled in? What ideas and fantasy do your mind creates to keep yourself in a state of like just fake pleasure, this dream state that has you captivated, where you think that everything always has to go up with no type of retracement, no type of downward pressure, nothing. In other words, folks think things are cliche. I don't know why. When maximum pain, maximum pain is part of the process. It's not to be cliche. In order for you to have maximum gains, you have to go through the maximum pains. I've said that over the years. This is not cliche. That's why a person like me, who's been here for a while, I don't get flustered, frazzle-dazzled. I'm not moved in any which way, any direction, left or right, because why? Do you know that the average person level of IQ, I learned this a long time ago. I don't know how relative it is now in 2020, but I learned this growing up. The average IQ of a person ranges between 80 and 100 on whatever scale. And when you get emotional, I might even say upset and even angry, they say you lose 40 points off your IQ. So imagine if you fall in the average barometer, average, right, measure, benchmark, average IQ, and you allow some FUD to piss you off. Now you got 40 joints taken off your IQ. Now you're hovering around what, 40 to 60 on the IQ? I think anywhere between like 50 and under, you're now venturing into developmentally delayed, low functioning, quote unquote, mildly retarded range. So you're going to make decisions when you're emotionally charged. When they say your IQ is 40%, 40 points of your IQ gone, that's when you're going to make your best decisions. When you can't think rationally, when you can't really make sound, concise judgment, when you have poor insight, extremely poor insight, rationality goes out the window, logic is gone. And you're going to allow social media to be completely, to just infuse you with nothing but propaganda. For what? For what? I thought you had a long-term view of things. This is what crypto does. This is what happens in crypto. You have, more often than not, times where the FUD in any community that you're in becomes so unbearable. It's almost like something that's purposefully done. You have to put that in your mind, that it's purposefully done, because what else do you expect from the highest appreciating asset class? Okay, think about this. If it's the highest appreciating asset class, what's the obverse of that? Extreme volatility. If it's the highest appreciating, meaning going all the way up, it's going to come crashing all the way down too. You can't have one without the other. But in the long run, history has shown for this asset class that if you remain in it for the long term, you do fairly well. And this is for people who, again, you have these goals that you set, these plans that you set, right, in motion for you to benefit years down the line. And now you're pulling the plug. If you have immediate commitments, who am I to judge? If you have bills to pay, life to live, things that you have to do, you financially overextended yourself, who am I to judge? I'm not here to give you financial advice. I'm not a, certified financial planner or whatever. Who am I to judge? But what I'm saying is, when you lose control, or when you allow yourself to lose control at what's in front of you, how does that help you when you no one forced you to get into this, right? No one. If you know you can't stand the heat, get out the kitchen. Like I said, crypto's not for everybody. Crypto isn't for everybody, and there's a lot of things that happen in crypto that's not really that good. You find corruption in crypto a lot, and unfortunately to me it seems like as much good as it offers is as much bad as people take advantage. Like, you have bad actors doing bad things. There's always going to be negative propaganda by media outlets, you know, delivering messages and sending information to the public to scare you from entering this space, because they don't want you. They don't want you and I. They don't want us to be in this space. But once they figured out it was too late years ago, that they can't turn this thing off, they're going to do everything in their power to just spread more information and more information in a multitude of different ways to grab a hold of your mind, so that anytime you hear crypto, the first thing that comes to mind will be something negative and you would leave it alone. And those of us who fought through that and got to this point, for you to just give up or allow yourself to be talked out of a situation by someone who really doesn't care about you. Name one person like this. Let's think about this. It's nice to say you have friends in life. It's nice to say that you know people. It's great. That's actually a blessing, because there are more people, I believe, that are out here that are alone, and I know that from the nature of work that I do. There are more people that are out here that I've met in life that are really alone, and they don't really have friends. So when you're in crypto and you say that, you know, you create bonds and alliances and relationships, friendships with people, that is a blessing. But you also have to always remember that when it's time for you to make a financial decision, it's you that's making the decision, not your friend, not the person you're cool with, not the relationships you've built, not XYZ, not nothing. It's you. It's you that are steering the ship. It's you that's supposed to be in control. When you're in crypto, in real crypto, you're supposed to be in control of your own assets. You're supposed to be the decision maker. You're supposed to be the leader within your own right, governing your life the best that you can within your own powers and abilities. Not somebody on Twitter or Telegram group on YouTube. You're the ones that's supposed to make a decision. It boggles my mind how people still, like, in other words, why are you so dependent or remain dependent on the decisions of others? Right? If you have the information you've learned, it's almost like when we had to be instructed going to school. The first 12 years, we were taught the basics: reading, writing, mathematics, science, humanities, history, etc., etc. And then after a certain point, you receive your high school diploma or GED, and then you make a decision whether you want to pursue education or not. No one's there holding your hand to tell you, okay, right? You know, you see a problem, 1 + 1. What does that equal? You're not looking left and right to see somebody give you an answer. You got the basics from first grade, second grade. You got the basics: division, basic math, basic, reading comprehension, basic writing. Now it's time to perform and execute. No one's there holding your hand, writing anything for you except you. Unless you become an instructor, or you continue to in the line of pursuing education to become a high level academic to then teach, you're on your own doing what you have to do. When you're looking for work and you're going on job interviews, is it you and a consortium of people behind you, helping you pass the interview or do well in the interview? No, it's just you. And when you do get hired, is it you and your crew of friends that are pushing you or supporting you during your employment phase? No, it's just you that's working. Once we got this information in this crypto space and in this community, information that was given to us for free, it was up to us to make the decisions that are best for us based on the information we received for free. And let the chips fall how they may. It is what it is, because no one forced you to get into the space. No one forced you to buy into any coin, any token, any contract, anything. People, it's human nature to look for somebody to blame for whatever. Even when things go well, you look to, praise. You look to praise somebody or give appreciation or, gratitude. But then when things go all the way left, it's about, villainizing someone or blaming someone, the name game and shaming and, being angry and upset, so witch hunt. But no one forced you to get into the space and do anything. That's just the truth. Because why? No one really has the absolute answers as to what is going to happen in this crypto space. No one can predict anything 100% accurately all of the time. So let it go. And not allow your emotional strings to be pulled left and right by people who really do not care about you. They don't. You have a bunch of talking heads in this community who did not create Hex, who did not create a blockchain, who did not create a DEX before the blockchain and the DEX, who did not create something that allowed thousands of people to receive in abundance, to make sound decisions and even not so sound decisions, and basically use their money how they saw fit. Not many people in this world could say they've done that, and especially in crypto, and successfully, and stand on it and just continue to be a figurehead for this community, even though this is all supposed to be decentralized. But we know who's the leader of this community. He's an imperfect person, has done things that I don't agree with at all. At all. But I can't take away from the genius of minting your own inflation. I can't take away from a few other things. There are other things again too that, leave a lot to be desired about the founder of this ecosystem. But I like to also highlight the good, because this is where we are. And guess what? Again, should anything happen, and what if he walks away from the community? Does the whole ecosystem collapse? Do you really believe that? Like, how are you performing? What is it that you're doing today that's going to impact your well-being down the line in the future? How are you going to benefit from your actions today, tomorrow? Like, what are we talking about here? Everything is about depending on somebody? Then what have you learned about crypto? And even apart from Richard Hart, up to this point, like, there are people who still have the same sensibilities as Richard, but they have their own journey to walk. And a lot of times they parrot the same thing and believe in the same things Richard talks about, because a lot of things that are talked about are just simply universal. They apply to everybody. We just have our different paths to walk. When you have the information, what are you dependent on a human being to do for you? You have the information to be able to be self-sufficient. You have the information, the tools at hand to be able to utilize to your benefit. What are you dependent on somebody else for? And if you find yourself remaining in a state of dependence, then maybe that's something you have to reevaluate or assess for yourself, for your own well-being. Because I say that because when the market does things that it does, like something that'll make you scared because you don't have the information that you need to understand this is just how markets go. Everything goes up and goes down. You have like the scary moments, and then you have the best of moments within the markets. Price goes all the way through the roof. Everybody's happy. When everything goes down, folks are angry. This is the nature of what goes on here. But people want to get rich overnight real quick. They want to get paid every day. They don't see the work that it takes, the patience, the determination, the discipline that is required to pillage through the ups and downs and remain balanced so that you could reach a desired outcome, whatever that means to you, without having to depend on people, on anything, on anybody's word, or anybody's anything. Because if you understand that this is supposed to be a mutable code, in other words, this is what I'm saying. Like, if you depended on Richard, wholeheartedly just depending on Richard, did you think about how life is what it is? What if he doesn't? What if he decides to just walk away? He could walk away at any moment, like just detach himself. We know the likelihood of doing that. I could surmise or speculate. The likelihood of doing that is nil because the man is too proud. He's too proud to let go of his legacy, which is Hex and now pulsechain and pulse. He's too proud. He's not gonna just detach himself from that. You know, like Satoshi Nakamoto, whether that was a man, a woman, a group of people, we don't know. The world doesn't know. But I'm saying, like, if the founder of Hex just absolves himself and disappears, what happens to the community? If the community implodes, that means they didn't really believe. You understand? That means they didn't believe in the tokens. They didn't believe in the code that's supposed to be immutable. They didn't believe in the mathematics. They didn't believe in this. These are things you got to ask yourself, because life throws unexpected curveballs at us. Things don't remain the same forever. There's one thing that's permanent, and that's change. We have to embrace change and expect the unexpected all the time, because this is what life is, filled with mystery and allure. And that's why I don't remain like just kind of like with the content creating. Sometimes I become impassionate, and I'll, speak my piece about certain things, but overall, listen, you're not supposed to be swayed either way, because everything is going to be what it's going to be. And you can't control anything that's out of your hands. You can't control a market. Like, it's going to unfold the way it's supposed to unfold. But as long as you know you have information and you can make sound decisions on your own, if you can't, don't do anything. If this is something that makes you sweat, if this is something that makes you stressed out, where you can't sleep, you can't live, you tossing and turning, your heart rate's pumping, you sweating, all this stuff, then leave it alone. It's not worth it. Because ultimately it's about quality of life. It's about quality of life. I always say that it's health over wealth, because health is wealth. Health is wealth. Doesn't matter how much money you have. If your health is poor, how are you going to enjoy your wealth? How are you going to enjoy your money, your riches, whatever you want to call it? You won't be able to. You're going to wish you could buy your health. And there's no price for that. You understand? Like, we gotta, come on. Like, we don't have to do anything. I'm not gonna tell you what to do, because y'all are who you are, individuals. I tell my people what to do on my side, as far as my family, whatever. I tell them because that's my role. Tell my kids what to do. Hey, get it together. Hey, and then I praise them when they do great. That's me. I digress. I just find it very, very bizarre. A lot of people, including me, we're just parroting things over the years, parroting things that we've heard overall, but I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know how things are going to go. Things are below sacrifice rate now and all this, and it looks crazy. It looks crazy because I could easily look at it and say, you know what? I could look at it and say, you know what? Wow, maybe I could have just not sacrificed and came in right now, right? You could easily look at it like that. You could easily say, wow, I wasted 2 years. All I had to do was just hold on. But, the 2 years I learned a lot. The 2 years was not an L for me because the 2 years brought, again, a series of teaching moments and helped me understand certain things about myself within this last 2 years that just coming into the space with a little bit of money and saying, okay, I bought below sacrifice, I would have been missing that experience that I've had within the last 2 years. I would not have had if I just came in fresh off the street, jumping into the space and buying at 4 zeros in a digit. Because the same way I could buy at 4 zeros in a digit is the same way I could sell right away and not understand what it took to get to that point. Because I didn't value what I have. You understand? There's a difference. Look at what it took for me to get this, and now that I have it, I'm not getting rid of it. Somebody else who comes in after could buy it cheaper and maybe hold because they understand and they learning that this is like an opportunity of a lifetime. Shout out to them. Or they could just dismiss it because they didn't come in, they didn't get forged through the fire like the majority of other sacrifices have. The pain that we went through and we had to endure all this time up to this point. Because I'm going to tell you, 2 years from now, a year from now, 6 months from now, a year, 2 years from now, we're not. Hindsight is always something special. They say it's 2020. It's always something special. You never know what the future holds. And I remember so many times when times like this, because this is not the first time I've seen this ugly bear market, not the ugly, but the bear market present its ugliness. And it depends on how you interpret it. It's not the first time I've seen this and how people react to it. And then when the bull market comes, they look back at the bear market and wish they would have took advantage during the bear market so they could prosper in the bull. And those times are similar to what it is right now, where people are prospering because they know when things go back up, because such is life, as above, so below. What goes up has to come down and go right back up again. They're setting themselves up for a pleasant surprise. Sounds the rhetoric and the empty talk that people have, and all these talking heads and experts coming out of nowhere thinking they have your best interest in mind. Don't listen to them. Not all good information. Not all information is good information, people. Not all money is good money. And you got to respect your time, because time is something that we cannot get back. I'll talk to y'all later.